Hello and welcome to Day in Film episode 38. It's been nearly 3 months, but we decided to finally do another podcast because there's nothing better to do. Nah.
There isn't.
But, the real reason is we've been busy, so we haven't done any. We might do more, I don't know. Hopefully, but, time is a thing. So anyway, this episode, I'm sounding so enthusiastic already. But this episode is going to be focusing on James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, which released like a few weeks ago now. I think it is like 2 weeks ago.
Over 2 weeks ago
Yeah.
since we first watched it, yeah.
Yeah, Jesus. Well, actually, it came on the 30th, didn't it?
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Nearly 3 weeks ago. I've watched it twice. James has watched it once.
Want to watch it again?
Yeah. So anyway, James, what do you think of it?
I really like it. I've probably enjoyed this film probably more. This superhero film's probably even with all the TV series that have come out, the thing I've enjoyed the most out of the bunch. If that makes sense, for a very long time. Like we've just finished Loki, and I enjoyed Loki. I really did, but the problem is with Marvel at the moment, they're not letting you sit with what you've just watched. They just the next thing. Like no,
Yeah.
let me sit with it, because you'll. This is like the problem with the oversaturation now, and I actually sort of starting to feel it because it's like it's not letting it sit with me, because that's the best. That's what I like about this film. This film grew on me the more I thought about it. Does it
I
make sense?
think, yeah, in relation to what you just said though about Marvel and not letting you just sit with it, I feel like because obviously the post-credit scene for this,
Yeah.
the final one, sets up Peacemaker. I feel like Peacemaker, the series, would have been more impactful had we only just learnt about it
Yeah.
after the film's release. Like,
And
had he
that's
been
the
like,
thing.
oh, and then Peacemaker's getting a series,
That
because
was
then
the
it's like,
that
oh,
was the original intention to happen, but
yeah,
because he always intended to want to make a TV show about Peacemaker. It's just that when it all happened, he had to announce it when he did.
I,
So
I think,
that's the
I
thing.
think this is, yeah,
I think that's
you,
if had it been like we watched the film, we didn't know a TV show was coming. The post credit scene was not what it was. And then they said, "Oh, good, a Peacemaker series," and they sold it to you as a prequel. And then you find out throughout the series, "Oh shit, it's a sequel." I think there's a lot more to have been had with that. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing, but that's just more of how things have to roll out now.
yeah.
Like, and the thing is, like,
This,
yeah,
from what you said about this being like your favorite superhero
I'm saying for quite
thing
a long
this year,
time. No, not this. I think
yeah,
for a
for
while.
quite a long while then.
One Division is a close second, because it's like that. I actually know Loki, but the problem is with Loki, they've now sort of just washed that away, because now what if? And it's just like, ugh.
Oh, Loki, little tangent already, but obviously, what if first episodes come out? We'll film. Well, this is a Tuesday, so the second episode's out tomorrow. Same as when this is probably going to be out. But what if episode 1 has left a very sour taste in my mouth, and
Same.
it's because obviously I watched Suicide Squad. Was it last week?
Mm.
That I still felt something in that.
Yeah, and it's why it works is because for the most part, it's a standalone thing.
Yeah, even though it has a sequel series coming, it feels very much like, okay, this is James Gunn just going balls to the wall.
He made a film. He came in. He wrote and he made a film, and he moved on to the next thing.
He wrote a comic book film,
Yeah,
which feels like a comic book film,
and they
and
actually
that's
the chapter titles.
yeah. No, see, I was just about to say what I'm about to say. Right, the reason I say it feels like a comic book film is because it doesn't feel like a comic book.
Mm.
I have just in the past few weeks being here, I've read tons of different comics. Just going through my collection, and honestly, Suicide Squad, it really, people who say it's like a comic book are trying to just justify it which
Mm.
is not. It's unnecessary because this is a comic book movie. It nails it at doing that. It's not a comic book, and that's what I think people need to understand.
No, I
Like,
think it feels like it's been brought to life. I think that's what people
yeah,
mean.
no,
And
but no. But what I mean is, it doesn't feel like that because
mm,
it's its own medium. So he's managed to use his own take on the comic book, basically, landscape and all that stuff. He's given it his own twist, and we've got this really enjoyable film.
mm. I think what I like about this, it's a very director focused film too. Like
Yeah,
The James Gunn isms are all over this film. And to be fair though, the Guardians, and specifically Guardians 2, have always felt definitively James Gunn. More so than a lot of the MCU films. I would say this film's way more like James Gunn than Thor Ragnarok is Taika Waititi.
well, that's because Taika Waititi didn't write it or
I think
have any
Love and
real
Thunder would
control over it.
obviously feel will be more of it, especially because yeah.
Yeah, but
But like I think and he's in this film. But like it's just I love this film because I think it's just like it's unapologetic, it is what it is, and it doesn't really set up a sequel. It does, but not the one you think.
yeah, but now what I mean about it being a great comic book movie is that he's not adapting. Well, he is adapting. Is so in recent years we've had a bit of a mess up with the word adapting
Mm,
with movies like Joker, where yes he's adapting, but he's not. You know,
yeah,
this
because
isn't this is an
it's
adaptation,
mm,
but it's not because he's taken characters, but he's created a whole new story. So you look at
Joker
something like,
is yeah, but Joker is literally like a few panels from the Killing Joke.
but even that's not Joker's completely not a
Yeah,
comic book movie. I won't
yeah,
count. I will never count that as a comic movie. I know people love it. I know you love it, but it's
and
just
so
not a comic book movie. It's called Joker.
yeah,
It could be called The Clown. It doesn't matter.
it could have been called Arthur.
Whereas whereas this movie is a comic book movie. It has
Yeah,
comic book characters. It's just that James Gunn has created this story. So the Suicide Squad, they don't have a story where they go against Starro and or look the Thinkers their
yeah.
rules, all that stuff. Because he's done that.
It's the
It's the same
concept.
with Guardians.
Yeah, it's the concept. It's the concept of it, and just playing with the action figures and
Yeah.
making them do stuff. I mean, and
See,
it's the thing. Like,
you're
it's
gonna
what? Sorry.
what are you gonna say? Yeah, just carry on.
Because it's like like playing with the action figures and like he clearly had fun, obviously creative control because he was allowed to kill off not a major character at the beginning, but like a significant character from the first film. Like it was nothing.
I'd say Boomerang is
Because it's,
he's the biggest death. He gets the little moment before he dies.
yeah, like and it's so clear that it's a fake opening as soon as it opens up on Rucker.
No, it was so clear it was a fake opening the second we got any of the trailers because they
Oh
revealed it.
no, because of the whole we knew that it was two teams. I was like, why would there need to be two
Yeah.
teams? And also how it opens up on Rucker when we know Idris Elba is pretty much the main character of this film. It's like, yeah,
Okay, let me just put my main takeaway from the two teams bit. Harley Quinn and Rick Flag are on that team.
yeah,
They are there to die.
yeah,
That is it. They are there to die.
but he done
Anyone who
it.
thinks otherwise is missing the point.
Yeah,
They're the diversion. They're there to die for the other team to get on safely.
yeah,
She hasn't. She's handpicked. If I'm honest, looking at that team, apart from Mongal, she's basically just handpicked a bunch of losers to
yeah.
die.
Well, I mean, three of them throw things.
When no, that's the thing. Savant, what's it like? He doesn't even have weapons. I don't think. Like he
He only
doesn't look like
swings.
he has no weapons on him.
No, I think the only thing he does is that he's good at throwing things. I suppose he's a bit more of
He's a
like a
marksman,
bullseye. He's a bullseye. He's a
but like
and obviously him
you've
and
got Weasel.
you can make the assumption that him and Boomerang have some history.
Yeah, but yeah, Boomerang as well. Boomerang is
And it's the
he's
best.
skilled,
And I think it's
but
also Jai Courtney's probably best performance as Boomerang compared to the first one.
just because he is being Boomerang.
And he felt more Australian in this than he did in the first one. The thing that made him but it's like obviously all the things in 2016 Suicide Squad, like the music. Oh, we get it. He's from Australia, so we have to put AC/DC on.
See, that's the thing.
It's
Uh,
Deadshot's Will Smith, so we have to put a rap song.
that's a bit
Yeah,
stereotypical, but I
no, but it
think
is there.
yeah, with Jai Courtney as well with Captain Boomerang. His first interaction with Harley Quinn saying like, "Oh, how come you're back?" That basically sets up. We could have any number of series in a sequel
Yeah,
like thing. Well, actually, sorry, prequel thing.
yeah. I do
But
think we're gonna. I think we'll get a prequel with Jai Courtney. I think we have to. I think if
I think,
anything, I think we get that one.
see, I don't think we're going to get a prequel series with him because of the fact that he's in Belle Reve. He's there.
Mm.
Like, we can assume he hasn't left. So it'd be quite interesting just having a Suicide Squad series with him and Joel Kinnaman. You know, just have, just give us a whole. Actually, that's it. You could do. Okay, this sounds weird, but you could do a mini series, like a specials thing. So hour long,
Yeah,
hour and a
one
half
shot.
long, one shots where it's a whole different team, but there's one or two characters you know.
Mm.
That would be perfect. Just you could do that. It's a like a mini film, basically, not a short film, a mini film, because short films are one thing.
Yeah,
So a bit like Sherlock, it's a
yeah.
film, but it's not a film. So do that, but just for Suicide Squad, if you get what I
I
mean.
do think we're going to see more of this sort of like sub world, if that makes sense. We're going to see a lot. I think it's only the beginning with James Gunn. Um, and
See, that's the thing. James Gunn is great, right? I don't really know what to do about. I don't. Look, I have problems with this film. I'm just going to be honest from this.
mm,
James Gunn is great though, right? He's really good at directing. He's really good at writing. But the gore in this film is just too much. I think. Like I said to you before about this, it has this weird feeling of being over the top in an over the top way.
yeah,
So like had it been half of what it was, I feel like that could have been enough. And it felt like he kind of went like he went to the half line and then went over that because he could,
mm,
which took away from some of the important scenes, like when we see the Thinkers test subjects. Like that should have been quite an impactful moment where you see these people being ripped apart basically,
mm,
but it feels like nothing because you've already seen a ton of different shit basically. I mean, the opening scene. I don't mean that scene.
mm,
But I mean everything after that. So like, there's just some stuff after that that kind of
yeah.
isn't needed.
I think with like the opening scene, um, like I think there's a problem if they go back to this, they can't do the thing where they wipe out most of the team in the opening because people say, oh, it sets the stakes. It sort of doesn't because it sets the stake if you're periodically killing them off, picking them off
Oh
throughout
yeah,
the film.
it would have it. It would work so much better if you had, say, let's say there's a team of 10 people, right?
Mm.
And at the end of the film, like you could even use the tagline again, like kind of
They're dying to save
not
the world.
really. Like they're down to save the world. Don't get too attached. You could literally say, like, you could just spoil the movie and say only two walk, like 12 will go in, two come out. You know,
Yeah,
and it's like, who are those two? Who's surviving?
yeah, because it's just like
There's stakes. You want if your favorite characters there, oh, I like that guy or I like that girl. I want them to survive. then it adds a bit more to it for you.
Yeah.
If it's just, okay, we have Michael Rooker and Javelin. I mean, not Michael Rooker, Savant and Javelin, and the Thinker, because the Thinker's pretty fucking useless in this film. Like, I really wanted Peter Capaldi to be big, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
Man, you got buzzing going on.
Have I?
Yep. Like, really bad buzzing.
Oh.
I don't know what it is.
Well, I'll try to sort it out, but like,
But alright, you say something. I've talked for a very long time.
I mean, yeah, like that's sort of like picking people off. Like that should have probably happened. I think they will do it. I think the opening to this film is a major reaction to 2016. If anything's a reaction to 2016, it's that. Like, you have no El Diablo, sort of like, I'm doing this for my family, Fast and Furious style. But I think Rick Flag is obviously the biggest thing to come out of this film, really. Like, he is one of the most disposable, generic, NPC sort of character, like sort of like, he just like, no, you didn't like Rick Flag when he came out of the film because he's so boring. In this, it's like the biggest glow up for a character you've ever probably.
Wait, this is not like this is not like having Rick Flag and he's all right, but he's just not that. He's not utilized. It's not like, because like the Thinker in this, I really think Peter Capaldi could be fantastic as the Thinker, but he is not given him much to work with.
Yeah,
So I
James
think
Gunn said there's a scene between him and Desmalch and that had to be cut out, but will be on the Blu-ray.
Okay, I'll need to see that, definitely. But like, look, there are moments in this film. You know, what's it? You know when they leave the Gentleman's Club and
Yep.
they're separated into two groups.
Yeah.
I think honestly they could have worked that scene better had we cut between the three and then the bus group.
Yeah.
And
And
Capaldi a few scenes.
no. That's the scene where they cut out between him and Smolchin.
Yeah, exactly. See, there you go. What I don't know why you'd cut that out. I mean, I do, because of the way that the action scene is done in the truck is very, very fluid.
Yeah.
I still don't get how he didn't break his arm though. Just gonna say,
Yeah.
his arm's in the hole and it's not.
Do you want a dozen rats to crawl up your ass? Might not be the answer you expect. Yeah.
I don't know. I wanted more from the Thinker. I feel like the violence was too
Again,
much.
with the Savile references.
Oh, the Savile references. Watching that on the second time, I was looking out for it. It's like, yeah, he is.
Like, is it actually?
Also, you said right about Amanda Waller's rant.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you must have misheard it, because when I watched it the second time, her rant is literally nothing. It's just her swearing a lot. Like, it doesn't actually have any substance to it.
Oh no, it doesn't, because she's at the end of a tether because she's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's why it works. Like, yeah.
Actually, like, I was thinking back on the first viewing, I thought she was saying more than she was. But on the second, she's just saying like, "Don't do this," and then she swears a lot. Whereas Capaldi's little monologue is perfect.
Oh yeah, no, that's clearly
even Rick Flag's monologue's perfect.
Oh, but I think we have to talk about the main character who's not credited first, where he should be, is what James Gunn referred to in an interview as Bloodshot.
Bloodshot?
Yeah. That's what James Gunn referred to him as on a whim, by accident, Bloodshot, because of how he was clearly Deadshot in this film.
I can't believe you called him Bloodshot. Because Bloodshot, if I'm correct, yeah, Bloodshot is the Valiant character.
Yeah. I think it's because it's like Deadshot and Bloodsport, obviously, and it's just like.
Oh, I was thinking, right, because the comics do this thing of they just grab the movies now, because that's what they do. Marvel's done it for years now. It
The faux
usually
MCU.
works. Foam MCU, it usually works. It doesn't work when you do stuff like Guardians of the Galaxy. They kind of just came out of left field with that. Like
Yeah.
they basically relaunched it, and it was like, who the hell is Peter Quill now?
Yeah, and they have to, and how will they get music into the comics?
Oh my god. Okay, little enough tangent. Did you see there was a video on the Guardians of the Galaxy game about the character designs?
Yeah.
That video is the most bullshit I've ever seen, and it's like 2 minutes long. The
Well,
guy's saying like, "Oh, we based this design on this and this and this." It's like you didn't. It's just the
you,
MCU.
yeah, it is just the MCU.
Like you can't act like you did something.
You literally have the Walkman in it, and I think
He's
that goes
got the
back.
red coat. Like what?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the thing. Like, and we know the red coat was an inspiration by James Gunn to put in, not the other. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is with the music, Suicide Squad just paints the wall with 2016 with the use of music. I think people who go back to watch 2016 will see how awful the music use is in
oh,
2016.
I saw that was it. I was looking for. I was looking on YouTube. This channel I watch. I was looking for a video they did on the Suicide Squad comics from Rebirth, where General Zod was in the Suicide Squad, because I
Yep.
tried to watch that video again. And I went through it, and when I searched Suicide Squad on their channel, it came up with their reaction to Suicide Squad 2016. They're like, "Oh my god, it's amazing." I'm like, "Oh,
Oh.
how? How? What film did you watch?"
Yeah, like it literally has like I think it's like 4 songs within 10 minutes, 4 different songs.
It's quicker than that. It's
No,
quicker
I
than
mean that's
that.
the
It's
opening,
so bad. Yeah, it's so bad. But
and it's
the
just like,
opening. Can we just appreciate the opening of this film? It gives you the dead characters,
yep,
and it does it in a way that's so much better.
yep.
Rick Flagg's just like, all right, we've got the team. Here's this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. You know, in Suicide Squad 2016, you had here's 25 minutes of really, really
They
boring
spend 40 minutes getting the
things.
team together.
Yeah, they spend 4 minutes getting to, but you have like, here's Harley Quinn. Oh, look, here's a whole scene with the Joker. You don't need that. I don't need to see that. But you have the character sheet things.
Mm.
Now, that I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I do like character sheet things because they're good for Easter eggs.
But
However,
when it's used to just mask shitty writing,
no, not that. Not that. I'm talking about Slipknot here. The guy who dies, who we
don't
don't
get one.
even get an intro. That's like, I'm sorry, but David Ayer, just try. Just try harder next time.
Yeah,
Because look,
like
I would be happy if he came out and said, we did actually do one for Slipknot. Because then it means you've done it, but you haven't.
I don't think David Ayer, the character sheet bios were David Ayer's thing.
No. But he still did all the Harley Quinn and Joker stuff.
Yeah.
That was still in the film. So,
Like here's the thing. I think David Ayer with 2016 released the haircut. I think he is bullshitting a lot of it just to get his cut.
see, the most character sheet thing they do in this is the character sheets on the
Yeah,
table when they're betting. But
yeah,
it's not like, oh, here's this character, here's all their secrets, here's all this.
yeah.
We could have had that. Honestly, I wouldn't have minded it had he done it tastefully. But wouldn't
But
it just be cooler to release character sheets as like a marketing thing?
mm.
Give us this, like, give us the Easter eggs, give us the information.
And here's the thing. It's just like if people say they need to see if they need to see the 2016 one to watch this one, I'll be like, nope.
What do you mean you have to? Because Harley Quinn is clearly it's
Like
clearly oh.
I think people say that's the only problem with this film though, is that Harley Quinn's in it because she's probably the only safe character.
I mean,
But
they don't treat her well, do they? They literally
I mean, her whistle for
torture
the
her.
choir. I mean, the whistle for the choir moment was a good moment.
Did
That's
you?
that's a good use of music though, isn't it? Like all the songs mean something to the script and were written into the script. They weren't just used.
Honestly, I think the Harley Quinn. This what's the song when
Whistle for
she's
the
with
Queen.
that? What
That's Whistle for
the one where she's like with the
Yeah,
president.
yeah.
That
You mean the one where it's the fantasy romance thing?
yeah,
That's
that
Whistle for the
yeah.
Choir by the
All right,
Fratellis. Yeah.
yeah. But that song, and then you've got the "I'm Just a Gigolo."
Yeah.
Like the songs with her work. I feel like there's the Johnny Cash song at the start as well.
That works.
That's
Well,
great.
the Jim Carroll song works. The people that
Actually, it's
they all work.
yeah. I was just trying to go like what doesn't work,
They
but I
don't.
can't
I
think
think
of what doesn't
because
work.
it's just
Yeah,
like okay, the only song that probably doesn't work or misplaced in the film, but even then it's still good, is the official song for this film.
which
Rainbow,
oh
Rainbow
rain.
Dancing.
Oh, that was
I
okay.
would say
I'm
it's
just gonna say
bad. I
so.
think it's misplaced.
I'm just gonna say this right now though. I really don't think that works. Like because it just comes out of nowhere. Do you know what I mean?
It's just driving in the car. I do
I
not.
like how it goes. I like how it goes to diegetic. Like it's just like oh driving, and he goes in the car. The problem is that's it. They bigged up this song,
Yeah,
and that was it. Like
it should have
you
been the
couldn't
one
have
where
used it.
it should have been in the rain sequence when they're walking out to
Yeah,
Yellowknife because that it would have made sense there. But I will say, um, John Murphy, John Murphy's soundtrack,
score. Yeah,
score
it's
soundtrack,
great.
it is like this is the famous Suicide Squad is one of the oh my god powerful soundtrack like that is one of the most like see this from like Rasputin or what's it called the one where we haven't even talked about like any like King Shark or Ratcatcher
Oh yeah, or Polka Dot Man.
or Pokemon. Oh yeah, we haven't talked about the Golden
There's.
Trio. Like the heart of the film. Um, David Smoltron perfectly cast.
I just don't think he should have died.
I'm a superhero.
Honestly, going back to it, I don't think he should have died because it kind of just feels weird.
His arc had finished because because his mum forced him to be a superhero, and it's basically he is the essence of a. You kept on saying there's a big reveal that happens at this moment. There's a big reveal that happens at this moment, and it is literally just a your mum joke.
Yeah,
That's your mum.
I
Idris Elba's brilliant. And it's like
yeah Idris Elba.
Nanawe is just like ah when he's crying in the bus because he can't go to the club.
Oh, what's his name? Melvin, whatever.
No,
Is that his name? No, it's not his name. What's his name? The guy.
the guy.
That guy.
It
Is it
was
Melvin?
Melvin.
Is it Melvin? I don't know if it's not Melvin.
Who are you talking about?
The guy. I forgot his name. No, give me a second. I gotta find this guy's name.
Who's the
I've
guy?
forgotten it. Give me a second. Uh, Milton. That's it.
Oh my god, Milton. That is one of the best. That is a really good joke
That's one of the best jokes.
because you
And the
do get
fact,
characters who just like follow you about for
yeah,
ages.
but the fact that it comes back when you
Mm.
have the like at the end when Harley Quinn's like she calls Bloodsport Milton. It's like
No,
it,
Polka Dot Man, Milton.
no,
Oh,
she
it's Bloodsport.
calls Bloodsport. She calls No, she calls Polka Dot Milton in the thingy, and it's just like that joke after the big fight. It just works
Mm.
because it just proves how nonsensical it is.
And how do we appreciate that? Taika Waititi has one line in this film. Yes, it's more emotionally impactful than anything in 2016. If
How
if
do we?
if rats can
How
if
do you
rats
just?
if rats can have purpose and anything can have purpose, paired off with Ratcatcher, it's such a great scene because that in the scene with her crying, with send the rats up, it looked like, oh god, this looks like a sacrificial play, but like it is completely opposite. It's like she knows how to win and she knows she's going to win, and I love that about like that's. Do you know what I mean? It's triumphant, and it's just like it very much felt like. Have you seen Paddington 2?
Yes, I have seen Paddington 2. Who
You,
hasn't?
you know the ending of Paddington 2, where it's not
With the auntie?
where it's not saying goodbye, it's saying hello. Yeah, it's still as emotional
Yeah,
because of how much it means to that character, which is why it's such an achievement. Because, do you know what I mean?
I just think. Also, that's the other thing. The whole like, I'll get you out of here thing.
Mm,
Bloodsport proves he's a hero.
yeah,
I would say, like he becomes heroic when he leaps over and grabs her off the car.
yeah,
Because had he mistimed that, they'd both be dead. Like
yeah.
we
Oh,
saw the car.
we haven't even talked about one of the best moments, though, have we? About Bloodsport. Because
Which
obviously
one?
oh my god, the rivalry between him and okay, the Peacemaker scene in the forest with him and shooting at all those people is one of the best joke. Is probably the best joke in the film.
What, killing the entire camp?
Yeah, to kill all the freedom
Yeah.
fighters, killing them all because it's just like because they were so hung up on their ego of one upping each other, they've just killed this country's best chance at that time, and that's such a
Also,
good.
I love how they. It feels like it's a positive at the end,
Mm,
but right. First off, the start of this film, like, well, not the very start, but when we get the briefing scene, they say not to kill the president and this and that and this and that. They kill all of them.
yep.
They literally, they are there. Actually, I've just realized they've brought in like classic Suicide Squad stuff with like the whole coup
Mm.
because they went in to do one thing and ended up doing completely opposite.
Yeah, because yeah, they had to because it's like that's such a good moment when like obviously building up to the round of Amanda Waller like saying you get back here, you give me that tape, you do it. So it's like, but also it's just like I think what's great about the but when obviously Peacemaker kills Rick Flag, that is like that just goes to show you how far Rick Flag has come because how much you hate Peacemaker is due to how much you like Rick Flag.
Yeah,
Does it make sense? Like, and which way makes the series interesting to see where James Gunn's going.
that's a hell of a risk, isn't it?
Oh, killing
James
you.
Gunn, no, James Gunn took a hell of a risk there. No one gave a shit about Rick Flag.
Yeah,
No one cared, and he had to make you care about this character and then kill the character.
yeah.
That's the thing he had to do, which is
He left you wanting more from this character. And do you know why this character? Because he accepts he's in a weird world with weird people, so he happily wear a Ultra Bunny T-shirt
oh,
and look like
he's not at all like he's not at all got a problem with it.
no,
Like he's very happy to do what he wants to.
yeah,
I
and
think honestly, I think a Rick Flag series where he's just like with different versions of the Suicide Squad could be perfect.
yeah, I think it also plays in because you end up realizing through the film, oh, him and Harley were sent to die. Like
Yeah, yeah.
obviously they're on a Suicide Squad, but he was in
No,
the
no, no.
opening.
But they're on the diversion team. They're not on the
Yeah,
main team.
yeah. And but then building up so obviously how much you hate Peacemaker and how much you hate Ratcatcher. So it's like then they do the whole thing where they build it to a level of tension, but they don't know how to get out. Usually when writers don't know how to get out of it, when you see in TV or like they cut to somewhere else because they don't know how to maintain the tension
Yeah.
in a scene. But is it 8 minutes later? I'm just like, oh come on, don't do this. Like this was so good, but they make but James Gunn justifies it because once the Jotunheim comes down and then Bloodsport's coming down on the plane, and then he just lands right in front of Peacemaker.
Also, see, there's a classic thing, right? And that's the callback. Like the classic callback, right? The first thing that they talk about is smaller bullets,
Yep.
and it comes back. And the thing is, it makes more sense for
Yep.
Bloodsport to have smaller bullets because he has all that high tech equipment.
He
Like,
makes his own bullets. We
yeah,
can assume he makes his own
but
bullets.
the equipment. Well, I mean, I don't think he does because if they went with comic origin, Lex Luthor supplies his weapons, but like he has weapons
If you look at
supplied.
his nanotech, he can probably customize his
Yeah,
bullets.
yeah. So
If he can literally pull a gun out of mid like
thin air.
thin air,
Oh,
he,
his
he
thing
can
as well.
pull.
His mask is literally like that's the coolest thing I think. The mask is part of his thing, like
Yeah.
his suit. It's
Oh,
not like a helmet.
yeah. But no, when Bloodsport just comes down, and then you do the classic, like, because Peacemaker's the darker version, like, there's light coming in on Bloodsport's end, and there's just shadow and darkness coming from Peacemaker's end.
And he's the bloody one as
Yeah,
well. He's the one who's a mess.
but he's lost his
He's
helmet
a
as well. He lost his
he's
helmet as
a
well.
yeah. So he's gonna have to get a new one then.
Yeah. I'm
We
so
have some
looking forward to.
characters coming in though in Peacemaker.
Yeah, I think I'm looking forward to where Peacemaker goes. I think it's a very interesting, like, whatever it's on, I'm probably gonna buy wherever it's on to
Yeah, because
watch
we're
it.
getting Judo Master,
Vigilante.
Vigilante, and I feel like we're getting someone else as well, but I
I do
can't
think this
remember.
show's gonna have a cameo beyond those characters, though. I think you might see an Amanda Waller because of how that
Oh,
story. I
honestly,
think
if you don't get Amanda Waller, I
knowing
don't
how,
get it.
like, is it Amanda Waller is integral to this character for
Well,
where he ends up, for his mission is in this film to where he ends up to how he is brought back.
yeah,
Yeah, like, I'm not saying she has to be in it all because we obviously got Jennifer Holland and Steve G in this, and they're probably going to be you know they're going to be the ones having to deal with it. But Amanda Waller has to turn up at some point. What if Bloodsport realizes he's alive?
I think that's one that's going to come in.
Because honestly, in some ways, I don't want them to read. You'll have to top emotionally that moment of Bloodsport falling through in the Peacemaker TV show
I
to
think
fit
you
to
could do it.
justify, which he could do. And James Gunn has said that Peacemaker is way more dramatic but way more comedic than Suicide Squad, which is interesting to me. Which is very interesting because
I could have sworn we had more characters in this though.
than the ones we've said. Most
Yeah,
of them
because
were.
because Judo Master and Vigilante are the only two that are on the cast list that I can see.
But we don't even know how
Like,
action heavy this. We're going to get a trailer in a few months to Peacemaker.
when's uh, DC fandom is in October
It's like
26th.
mid-October. Yeah, so
October,
it's
yeah. So we're about what is it 3 months away from it.
and it's
Something like,
coming
yeah,
in
2 months.
January, and the show's coming in January. So fingers crossed, it's on a act. It's
Look,
not on Now
look.
TV.
I'm just gonna say this now. Stargirl, which I was going to say, is quite it for a program that was seen as like a CW thing. Stargirl is far better than it is. Stargirl, I think, I think it works really well, and it has some really dark moments in it
Mm.
that prove you don't really need the gore and a lot of things, you know.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, we haven't even talked about like
But
the whole Starro stuff.
yeah,
And
but
what
I mean, there's not much to talk about the Star Wars stuff, is
well, I
there?
mean,
Apart from the thinker.
it's the whole thing that the Nazis never left, really. The
Yeah,
Nazis are the Americans, and
that's
that
basically it.
it plays into the Americanism, so it.
No, but I think because Stargirl is on Amazon, you know, you have got the HBO stuff like what's it called, Titans and Doom
Mm.
Patrol. They're messy. Titans is on Netflix, isn't it?
Titans on
And
Netflix,
Doom
Doom
Patrol's on
Patrol's on
Stars.
basically it's on an Amazon channel for some
But
bloody
but
reason.
but look, Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol has been the black sheep.
Mm.
Titans has been like there,
But
but it's not really there. No one,
everybody knows about Titans. I think it's just one of those things.
yeah, everyone knows it's there, but I can't really say I hear much about it. Like,
No, because I think most would accept it's not very good.
I think it's just, yeah, I think it's just kind of there. It looks bad. I'm just gonna say it now. I've never seen it, but it
Mm.
looks bad.
And Young Justice is nowhere outside America.
I still watch it though, you know, yeah, illegally. But no, I haven't. It's legal. I just went to America for a few days, just to watch it. But or at least that's what my VPN said. But I really think that first off, we're getting Peacemaker here.
Yeah,
Second off, I think we're going to get an announcement for a second show or film at
I,
DC
I,
Fandom.
I think so too. I think we're gonna get. I think what he's talking about, like finalized, we don't know what it is. I think it's
Honestly,
probably.
right. There's a team. I think it's called Secret Six. But
Mm.
let me just double check that. Secret Six. Basically, it's Bane and some other people, and they are kind of an analog of the Suicide Squad. So, like,
But
they're
they,
not the Suicide Squad, but they're basically Suicide Squad. Yeah.
yeah,
So it's Bane, Catman, uh, Deadshot. You know, it's the integral characters, isn't it? You know,
Mm.
you could replace that team. You just put Bloodsport as the lead. That you could do a sequel for that.
I do think we're gonna get another project announced at DC Fandom.
Yeah,
I don't think you announced Peacemaker Series 2 at Fandom.
that's not an
I think.
announcement. He's already announced it basically by saying season one's done. Like,
Mm, I
I
think.
mean, yes, you can say we've wrapped on the first season, but it's just the way he said it felt very much like there's a season
Yeah,
two coming.
yeah. I think you'll get. I think you'll get like the Javelins and make it Boomerang and Savant prequel with Javelin. I think you get that. I think that's a. I think that of anything is the most probable.
Yeah,
But at least Boomerang and Savant, because there's a moment between them on the Ocelot, and it's just like, yeah, it looks like they've got history.
I don't know.
But how do you
I,
make a prequel with somebody you know who's going to survive?
that's what I mean.
That's the only
You
problem. You know they die at the opening of this film, so why would you make a sequel? Like a
prequel
prequel to it. Why would you do that?
unless you do what I was saying about a Suicide Squad, like a whole different team, and it just happens to be that he's on the team and survives.
Yeah.
Because then you get the best of both worlds. You get him on the team the whole time. You could even have a whole mission like where it's just Captain Boomerang who survives. Everyone else dies apart from him. You could
Yeah.
do that. So you could actually you could add to his death and show how massively they got done by Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
If you show him on a ton of different missions and he just somehow survives all of them, but then he
Yeah.
dies that way.
Yeah. And the thing is, though, with James Gunn also, it's like he has teased he is doing more stuff with DC beyond Peacemaker.
Oh yeah.
He's teased it on his Instagram. He could be teasing that he's doing just other things with Warner Brothers, like which is
No, no. I think
he
when
is
he
making a
t-
Wile E.
he
Coyote film. He has written a Wile E. Coyote film, so he has done other stuff already
but
with that.
yeah, but I think that film, I think the Coyote versus Acme, I think that's like I don't know. I haven't looked at it in a while, but I feel like there are quite a few people attached to it.
There's two writers to it,
Yeah.
and he's one of them. So, eh, he's
So he
definitely
could
like,
he could just be the like cleaner up. You
yeah,
know,
like get
they
this
had him for
polished up.
Squad, so let's get him on that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm looking
I
forward to it.
yeah, I think we get. Because I was going to say, like, does he? I know we said it before. Does he return to Scooby Doo? Does he do another Scooby Doo film reboot, sort of
I
sequel?
don't think so.
I think we get one with him involved in some sort of way, but I don't. He needs to do something original though. He definitely needs to do that. Whether it be a musical, a
I don't.
western.
I don't know. You say he needs to do something original. I think Suicide Squad is original enough.
Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong. No, no, that's what I mean. He did something original with a superhero
Yeah.
property in the Suicide Squad.
If he can get this kind of freedom, I think he will
Yeah,
stick with it.
he
Realistically.
said something interesting in the BBC Radio One interview. He says that like people always like to blame the studios why a film doesn't turn it turns out sort of mediocre. He says a lot. Yeah, no, it's true that studios do hinder some films, but he says there are a lot of films where the directors just were not confident enough.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah. David Ayer. I'm joking.
yeah,
He wouldn't have. I don't think that would
like,
have been much.
but no, but
But
I get that. Like,
he made look like what's he known for, right?
End of
It's
Watch, Training Day,
they're cop
Fury.
films. A lot of them are cop films.
I
To
mean,
be
David Ayer
fair,
could look, had David Ayer was able to work on that script for like a year or actual 8 months, not 8 weeks. Do I think he could have pulled off a better film? Yeah, yeah. But it's still this gangster sort of muddy texturing look he get. The gangster.
it's not a superhero film.
It didn't even need to be really
No,
like
no, no.
it's the
But it
gangster.
did.
It's the
It did. It
gangster stuff that he gets going for it. That's just like, like I don't know. Just like remember the only he, yeah. I don't know. Would you watch the haircut?
honestly, just because of how much he talked it up, I would. But
I would have to just
just look at pictures of the film. It's grey.
and it's
It's
very clear.
grey. Like
So I watched Red Letter Media's review of this film, and I watched and they pointed to me out. If you watch the progress of the marketing of Suicide Squad, the logo changes. The first trailer from 2015 Comic Con. It's very dark, dreary. The joke was on me, like that trailer. Then it does the Bohemian Rhapsody trailer, which everybody
yeah,
remembers. And then it's more pop. And then suddenly it feels like they have to commit to this Guardians of the Galaxy thing. And then the film comes out and it is awful. Why was Joker in that film? No reason.
because he had Harley Quinn in it, so you have to have Joker.
Okay, fair enough. But then your villain was right there for the film. But yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. This whole release the Ayer cut. It's not good. It's not good, is it?
Like like the people who say about like directors and creative freedoms, we want people with directors and creative freedoms. No, 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 no. You want Zack Snyder and his creative freedoms. Because the thing, you've literally had a film dished up to you of James Gunn giving you his understilled vision, creative freedom. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they're saying it's shit because he's going against Zack Snyder's vision. I'm just like, oh fuck off.
Zack
Like,
Snyder. Zack Snyder. Okay, this is. I know we're just going to bitch about
yeah,
this, but it needs to be. The whole Snyder cult. They are. I was going to say they're gone, but they're not. They got what they wanted, okay? Or at least that's what we thought they wanted. But they haven't stopped some of them. They still act as if they haven't got what they want. They want him put back in charge. They want all this and that. The thing is, right, people hate on, like, Jeff Johns, right?
yeah,
I know, right, okay, I'm not going to say he didn't mistreat Ray Fisher or whatever. I don't know, okay?
yeah,
But he is a very prolific writer, okay? He knows comics. Had you said to me, Jeff Johns is in charge of the DCU, I would have had some faith. But Zack Snyder, no. If you said
yeah,
if you said James Gunn, honestly, I'd have more faith, but I still wouldn't have that much faith because you need to have people who aren't in charge. It's like Tennessee Coates writing the new Superman film.
mm,
That okay, that he's a great comic book writer. Yes, get him to write a film. J. Michael Straczynski, you know, great comic book writer, great writer in general. Paul Cornell, great writer. If you have people like that writing these films and doing those films, it's great. If you just get some random director to write the film too, what do you expect? Like, what do you expect? Like, I was really thinking about this the other day. I wonder how often these studios have gone to actual writers, like comic book writers, I mean, and offered them their own like their own films. You know, they
Mm.
go to they go to uh, they go to Paul Cornell because he wrote Captain Britain. They offer him that
Mm.
like they do that kind of thing. You wrote this series, Gail Simone, Tom Taylor, whatever. Here's this. Will you do the film? I want to know how often they do that because I doubt they do it much, and that's the problem. Marvel is the same. They just have this pool of writers that they drag from, and it feels very small, you know.
Yeah, I think I know it's a bit weird because it's like maybe it is better to just like somebody can just tell a story, doesn't matter regardless of what characters in it, because a good story shouldn't have costumes. If not, I mean, it shouldn't be hinged on the costumes. It should be hinged on the characters.
Hang
So
on a minute. Isn't Zack Snyder's whole thing just he likes the costumes?
oh, absolutely, that's all he likes. And like the thing is with Zack Snyder, it's just like his vision is so like, look, is it good that he got the Snyder cut in hindsight? Yeah, it's probably good. He got it cut because let's be real, they did butcher his vision. Yada yada yada. Here's the thing with David Ayer. A lot of that is his vision. Like
Now, but James, you didn't watch the Snyder Cut, did you?
no.
It's boring as shit. It's so bad. I mean, not bad, but boring. It's so long, and it doesn't need to be. I I could read the entirety of Darkseid War. I
Yeah.
could read the entirety, and this is massive, right? This is a 528 page book, thing is. I could read Jonathan Hickman's Time Runs Out in that time. I'm not even
Yeah.
joking about that. I could, and it would be so much more interesting because that film is just so much of nothing, and then a
Mm.
little fight at the end, and that's it. There's not much substance there.
Why do you need all this time to tell this same
Yeah,
story?
it's not like
I'd say okay. It being 4 hours, I think that's more because he realized I've got a cut of a film that I wanted. We're just talking about Justice League now, but I think it's more like okay, why he did the 4 hour thing because it's hey look, I got this ripped away from me. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it properly. I'm gonna be so self indulgent with it. I'm like, do you know what? You do you. You get. Do you know
look,
what I mean?
look. Let me put it this way: if they said there's a cut of Avengers: Infinity War or Endgame that's like 4 hours long,
I wouldn't want to watch it.
I wouldn't want to watch it, but I would look at that and go, you know what? I can see how because you have so many characters in that film that you could.
Yeah.
Whereas Justice League, it's that I feel like yeah, Superman's barely in the film. Okay, I'm
Mm.
but basically it's just a lot of nothing. And this film, to its credit, the Suicide Squad, not Suicide Squad, that shit.
It's
The
very well
Suicide
paced.
Squad is very well paced. It's very snappy. It gets it done.
Yeah.
And that's my final note on this film because otherwise
Yes.
I'll just talk about other things. Which I mean, we talked for about 10 minutes on stuff that isn't the Suicide Squad.
What
But
would you rate the Suicide Squad 10 out of 10?
I'm going to give it a solid 7.5 to 8.
I'm going 9.
Yeah,
I'm going 9. I could even go 10.
I
That's
couldn't go
how.
10. I could probably go 8.5. Actually, yeah, I'll go 8.5 because I think it's minor problems I have with it. I
Mm,
just I feel like this is one that could work. This is one that could get better the more we get in this universe.
yeah, I think we will. Because I think he's going to have like his own little playground to play in now. Hopefully, hopefully,
If
don't.
they know what to do, they'll do
It,
that.
yeah,
That's how you do it.
yeah. So
But anyway,
But
just get a
anyway.
little pause in there. That'll do it for this episode. James, do you want to do an episode in like next week? Or, well, maybe not next week, in a few days, who knows?
See what
But
comes
not,
up.
but not 87 days, as it
Uh,
was. No,
we'll see.
I mean, I'm not about new films. I'm not about just like any film. Like Amazon has Knowing with Nick Cage, could do that film. You know, could do The King's Speech, could do The Impossible, stuff like that.
We'll see.
Could do Pan's Labyrinth. Could do Seven. Could do
We could do Evangelion rebuilds.
could do anything. You know,
We could do
could
Attack on Titan.
no,
We could do an anime reviews. James and Dom's
no.
anime
Could do
reviews.
Kamen Rider. But
Yeah,
anyway,
they came in right, yeah.
but anyway,
Anyway.
see you. I won't say next week because I don't want to set myself up for failure like that.
See you in the next video.
See you sometime. Hopefully next week. I don't know. Have a nice one.
Goodbye.